I'll never be as good as them. Why even try? As I scroll through my phone, those words echo in my mind, the bright light from the screen casting a stark glow in my dimly lit bedroom. Although the hour is late and it's time to relax, I find myself ensnared in a cycle of viewing my peers' highlight reels, their achievements, and the moments of triumph that define their journeys. Each post resonates deeply, highlighting the distance I feel from where I want to be, almost like a gentle yet firm nudge to my spirit. The pressure to keep up and demonstrate my worth feels like a vice, tightening its grip around me. It's a heavy feeling. The sense that despite your best efforts, you find yourself trailing in the shadow of someone else's achievements. On this late Sunday night, the world appeared to be in a gentle pause, but my thoughts raced on, unrelenting. After a challenging week, brimming with meetings, deadlines, and the usual hustle, I finally reached the end. Instead of taking a moment to unwind, I found myself reaching for my phone and scrolling through Instagram without a second thought. At first, I saw a friend's vacation photo, capturing a moment of pure joy. But then, my attention shifted to a coworker's recent achievement, showcasing a radiant smile alongside the phrase, "Hard work paying off." My stomach twisted in knots. As I scrolled through each post, I couldn't help but feel the weight of others' achievements, each one telling of their happy and successful journeys. One of my peers was receiving an outpouring of congratulations for securing a dream project. Each, "Congrats." I seemed to diminish my own sense of worth, while the comments formed a harmonious chorus of admiration. The atmosphere shifted, surrounding me in an unexpected warmth that tightened around my chest. I set my phone down, and the persistent, piercing thoughts keep wandering on. I find myself surrounded by everyone. I feel like I'm falling behind. The burden of comparison is everywhere in the silence of my apartment. Envy took over me, an unwelcome companion, no matter how hard I tried to push it away. With the spark extinguished, I found myself trudging to work the next morning. My focus drifted, and I found myself reflecting on each decision I had made. A task that should have taken an hour stretched into 3, as my thoughts wandered back to those posts instead of focusing on the work before me. As the day came to a close, I found myself reflecting on my lack of accomplishments, and the weight of inadequacy stays heavily within me. It was at that moment I understood that I had to stop allowing comparison to overshadow my happiness. I knew I had to break this cycle, or else it will drive me crazy very soon. Once again, on a quiet Sunday night, I felt that familiar pull to scroll through my feed. But this time, I took a moment to reflect before reaching for my phone. I set it aside and stepped outside, allowing the cool night air to brush against my skin. I made my way to a nearby bench and gently closed my eyes, allowing the sound of the city to gradually fade into the background. "My journey is unlike any other," I whispered softly. "I am enough as who I am." I took a moment to consider the small victories that had slipped by, clients I had supported, skills I had honed. I needed to honor my own journey, rather than walk in someone else's footsteps. I stepped back inside and chose to reach for a notebook instead of my phone. This week, I took a moment to reflect on 3 small victories, like making a perfect call or staying composed in challenging situations. The next morning, I awoke with a sense of calm clarity all around me. I focused on my tasks at work, choosing to immerse myself in my responsibilities rather than paying attention to the actions of others. When a coworker shared their recent victory, I felt a genuine smile spread across my face, and it came from a place of true happiness for them. Their success represented just one chapter in a larger narrative, and it in no way lessened the value of my own journey. As the day came to a close, I reflected on the progress I had made, feeling a sense of confidence in my achievements. That night, I chose to write in my notebook rather than scroll through my device. It was as if a heavy burden I had been carrying for far too long was finally released. I came to understand that my worth was inherent and that life isn't merely a competition to be won. That change of perspective transformed everything. What was it about this moment that struck me so profoundly, despite the fact that I had been ensnared in comparison for such a long time? The burden of expectation loomed over me, a constant alert of the need to prove that I was not only keeping pace, but also worthy of the journey I had embarked upon. As a young woman and second-generation immigrant, I bore the weight of not only my own dreams, but also the hopes and expectations of those who came before me. Each time I witnessed someone else's success, it served as a poignant reminder of the journey I still had ahead, knowing that my family had sacrificed so much for me to reach this point. As I sat there, quietly grappling with my unseen struggles, social media only deepened my sense of isolation by showcasing the highlight reels of everyone else's lives. However, my perspective shifted following that Sunday. I came to realize that you are enough just as you are. Your worth is defined by your essence, not by what you have achieved or how others perceive you. That truly resonated with me. The belief that my worth was determined by a never-ending competition laid the groundwork for constant comparison. I overlooked the beauty in my own journey as I became consumed by the paths of others. I realized that my growth should be unique, much like a tree in a forest, where it's not about being the tallest or the strongest to belong. In that moment, as I paused to take a deep breath, I felt a profound sense of connection, as if I were anchored in something much larger than myself. I started to maintain a simple notebook, which I named my success board, where I documented all of my victories, regardless of how small they might seem. It's possible that I had acquired new insights or managed to handle a challenging circumstance with care. Valuing my own growth took precedence over the need to surpass those around me. I chose this path to support others, not to simply emulate someone else's journey. My worth is found in the dedication I invest in my work and the way I carry myself each day, rather than in the recognition or achievements I receive. Even in moments when it feels like life is a relentless race, that very sensation is what grounds me. I pause whenever I sense a comparison beginning to emerge. As I open my notebook, I pause for a moment, taking a deep breath and becoming aware of the solid ground beneath my feet. As I take a moment to absorb it, I reflect on one of my victories. It brings me back to my own path, allowing me to reflect on the distance I've traveled. At this moment, everything falls into place. Comparison is not reality. It's merely a pattern we fall into. I am here to embrace my true self, not to become someone I am not. I sense a newfound lightness within me, a feeling of relaxation that eases the weight I once carried. When you find yourself feeling inadequate, consider taking a moment to pause, breathe deeply, and reflect on one accomplishment that brings you pride today. You are exactly where you need to be, not lagging behind.